Hello and welcome back to another dodgeball video. It is officially 2 months out until the World Dodgeball Championships in late August of this year in Edmonton, Canada. I've been training really hard the last few months and we're almost at that final stretch leading into Worlds. And so this week I wanted to take you through a week of my workouts, of what I'm doing in my training to prepare me for this tournament. So let's jump right into it. So every single morning for 10 minutes and every single night for 10 minutes, I do yoga stretching and various stretches that some of them you would see in my warm-up video, part 1 that I posted a few weeks ago, which I will drop in the comments. So I'm not going to film those just because I'm doing the same thing pretty much every day. Monday is going to be my strength-based leg day. I start Mondays with my warm-up, not featured on camera. I did 10 minutes on the bike, and then I did 5 minutes of dynamic stretching. Then I jump into my first exercise, the back squat. So always with the back squat, because I'm going heavy on it, I do warm-up sets. So I do 2 warm-up sets. I started with 25s on each side and then 35s for the second set. Then I went into my working sets at my working weight with 245s. I did 4 sets of 6, nice and slow and controlled on these. And each week I've been slowly adding weight now that I've been able to do full back squats again. Then for my second exercise, I went into some kickback RDLs. I've been mixing up which type of deadlift I do every week. I really favor the sumo deadlift, but I've really been enjoying doing these kickback ones. They are more of a single leg variant. And I'm using 40-pound dumbbells and I'm doing 3 sets of 8 on those. Then I jump into my hip thrust variation. Today I'm doing an elevated hip thrust. I usually have a single leg, a regular hip thrust. I have some form of a hip thrust in my workouts as a staple. So I'm using this 55-pound bag thing. I like it because the weight is evenly distributed across my body, and I do 3 sets of 12. Then I jump into Bulgarian split squats, my favorite and least favorite exercise all wrapped into one. They hurt so good. I did 3 sets of 8 for each leg. Then I went into another hamstring exercise. Unfortunately, the leg curl attachment was not at the gym, so I had to improvise, and I did 3 sets of 12 for the exercise ball pull-ins, which is a great body weight variation of a hamstring exercise. Then I went into one of my favorite exercises, the heel raise goblet squat. I love doing these. I do these pretty much every week on my strength-based leg day. So I have my heels raised using 2 kettlebells on the ground, and then I'm using a 50-pound dumbbell because that's the heaviest my gym has. I might have to upgrade to holding 2 dumbbells in the future, but I do 3 sets of 10 on those. Then I go into kettlebell swings. I think this was a 40 or 45-pound kettlebell. I don't remember. I've just started doing these again, so I had been doing other exercises, but I missed doing kettlebell swings. Anyways, 3 sets of 12 on that, and then I finished off the day with 3 sets of 10 with dumbbell calf raises. I believe those are 40-pound kettlebells, and nice and slow and controlled, really just trying to build the strength back up in my lower leg since my ankle injury. So yesterday night or Monday night, I didn't film this. I met up with Xander, who I've talked about in a couple videos. He's been helping me with my throwing mechanics, and we basically did a velo or velocity check-in. So I did a bunch of different exercises and we wrote down the speeds, trying at 80% and then trying at 100%. I wasn't feeling 100%, so I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the numbers I got, and I'm excited to see how much I could potentially improve when we do our next check-in in 4 weeks. Tuesday we have our push upper body day. I start with my shoulder mobility warm-up. I do 2 sets of 10, rotating between inverted Ys, Ws, front raises, and side raises, and I take short breaks in between each exercise. I'm only using 5-pound dumbbells. You can also just do these body weight as well, as long as you do them nice and slow and controlled. So then from there, I'm feeling pretty good, and I jump into my bench press. Just like on the back squat day, because I'm going heavy on the bench press, and it's my first exercise, I always do a 2 warm-up sets. So I started, my first warm-up set was with 2 20-pound dumbbells. Then I used 2 30s, And then we got into my working weight for 4 sets of 6. So my first 2 sets, I used 40-pound dumbbells, and I was feeling pretty good, and I'm slowly trying to progressively overload this exercise. So my second 2 sets of my working weight, I did 2 45-pound dumbbells. So then from there, I go into a shoulder strength-based exercise. I mix up different types of shoulder presses. So today I did 3 sets of 8 on the Z press. I like this one because you sit on the ground, so you eliminate the momentum from your lower body, and so your shoulder and upper back is more involved in it. Then I went into the chest fly. I've mentioned this in another video. I do not like doing dumbbell chest flies. They can be dangerous and very easy to injure yourself by overextending. So I personally prefer using the cable machine, and I did 3 sets of 10 here. I believe I have it on 50 pounds each this week. So the cable, obviously, you gotta take or leave a little bit of the weight. It's not as 100% accurate because it's a resistance machine. And then from there, I went into a tricep isolated exercise. I usually like to throw one of these in. So today I did 3 sets of 10 of a tricep cable pull down. I believe the machine was set to 70 pounds. Again, like with the chest fly, you have to like take or leave a little bit of weight. Like, that's just what works for me. So I get like an RPE of like 9. And then I went into the TRX push-up. I like this one because it's really like twitchy. It's a lot harder than a regular push-up because you're having to deal with the TRX band like moving a little bit. So I did 3 sets of 10 on these. And then I went into my velo work for the day with the med balls. So starting with the bent over chest pass, 3 sets of 10, trying to go quick and push the weight from just my chest, but doing it in a controlled manner. Then next, one of my favorite med ball exercises, I did a high elbow throw. So the idea here is that I'm trying to keep my elbow high, as I have an issue with my throwing mechanics of dropping my elbow in the throw. And so this is a great exercise to help me correct that. Then rounding out the med ball work, I do 3 sets of 6 of the kneeling chest pass. This is a great one to really get that force off the ball. And I'm using a 6-pound med ball here. Again, you shouldn't be going too heavy on that. If you're a guy, 8 or maybe 10 pounds would be okay, but definitely like start with 6 and work your way up. And lastly, I finished off with a little bit of ab work. I've been loving my ab wheel. I did 3 sets of 10 here. It's Wednesday and it's a hot 90 degrees out. Today I'm doing my cardio day at the park. So I started with my warm-up where I did a bunch of various like sprinter, like warm-up drills, jogs and back pedals, hop exercises, some toe walks and heel walks, about 5 minutes total. I didn't film everything. And then I went into about 5 minutes of stretching. So I did, some hip swings, and I did some pigeons, some calf stretch, some hamstring stretch, a bunch of stuff just to get me feeling good. And then I went into the first part of my workout, which was ladder drills. So I did 10 minutes of various ladder drills. I'll actually link in the description my ladder drill video I did a few years ago, because that has most of the drills that I did. And I ran through each one like 2 to 4 times until I hit 10 minutes with minimum break in between. I try not to take more than like a 20-second break during this whole 10 minutes. I try to keep it pretty like continuous. I love ladder drills, but they're definitely not the make-all for speed. There's so many better things you can do. So I actually think next week I'm going to move these to only being 5 minutes and add more sprinting work instead. So anyways, I finished the ladder drills, gave myself about a 2-minute break, and then we went for the hill sprints. And this hill is a decent size. I started with 6 hill sprints, just standard hill sprints. So basically I run up the hill. It's all about quick contact on the ground and knee drive and arm pumping, get to the top, and then my break for each set is to the walk down the hill. And then I continuously went until I did 6. Then I gave myself about a 2-minute break and went into the back pedal hill sprints. These are great, but they're a lot harder. So I only am doing 4 at this time. So basically back pedal up the hill, the walk down is my break, and then continue till I do 4. Then another about a 1.5-minute break, and then I went into lateral shuffle hill sprints. So I do 4 total, 2 per side, alternating sides each rep. And again, I lateral shuffle up the hill, and my break is the walk down the hill. And then I finish with a new exercise that I haven't done yet, and that was broad jumps up the hill. And I did 3 sets of those, again with my break being the walk down. It took me about 8 broad jumps to get up the hill, and I found that this exercise kind of upset or like bothered my ankle a little bit. So I think I want to include broad jumps again next week for my cardio day, but instead I want to actually do them on a flat surface until some of the strength in my ankle continues to come back. But I did really like this exercise, and if you don't have an injured ankle, I highly recommend you give it a try. And then I rounded out the workout on a flat surface, and I basically mimicked the opening rush. So I did a sprint. My sprint was at least 25 meters. I didn't measure it, but it's definitely longer than the women's opening rush would be, which I'm fine with, because if I can do it at a longer distance, I can do it at a shorter distance. So basically, I sprint as if I'm sprinting to the line for the balls. I pretend to pick up a ball and toss it, and then I backpedal. And it's all about getting to the line quick, getting the toss, and then making sure when I backpedal, I'm getting my body into a position where I can make a play on the ball if I'm thrown at. And I did 6 of those with about a 20-second break in between each. I think next week I'm going to actually just bring a ball, because I think if I bring an actual ball, it'll be more realistic. And then lastly, I finished with just as fast as I can, back pedals down the same distance as I did the previous drill. So I did 6 of those. So back pedal, quick break, back pedal. After every 2, I gave myself a 20-second break, and then I would do 2 until I got 6 total. It's Thursday. That means I'm doing my pull upper body day. So I started with shoulder mobility warm-up. So 1 set of 12 for each arm on 6 different exercises, the lowest setting on the cable machine. And you see a couple of them filmed. They're various sort of pullovers from various angles, getting a lot of smaller muscles in the back, internal and external shoulder rotations. And then I jumped into my exercises for the workout, starting with Lat Pulldown, which is a staple. I do a 1 warm-up set on this one just because I do go heavy, and then I do 3 sets of 10. And then I did an exercise that I haven't done in a very long time, pull-ups, but I had to do assisted pull-ups, so I did 4 sets of 5. I'm not sure what the resistance was on this blue band, but I was able to hit 5 cleanly. My goal is to start doing assisted pull-ups weekly and build up to eventually not needing the assistance. Then I took a quick break and did 3 sets of 10 payloft presses, which is more of a core anti-rotation movement. I did them kneeling for 3 sets of 10. These are great. I always include a variant of these every single week. And then I went into one of my favorite exercises, the single arm landmine press. This is a great shoulder/back exercise, and I did 3 sets of 8 on this. And then to finish off the strength portion of my workout, I did bent over dumbbell rows, 3 sets of 10 using 30 pounds. I always have a row variant in my workouts as well, as that's another staple exercise. And then I went into the fun stuff, the velo work. So I started with 3 sets of 5, 1 slam down into a side slam. So the 1 slam down to the side slam is 1 rep. So I did 5 of those, and then I switched and did the other side. 3 sets of those. And then I did three sets of 6 on the soccer throw. This is a great one for the upper back and shoulder. And I use a 6-pound med ball here, kneeling on the ground soccer throw. And then I did 3 sets of 6 with the behind the back med ball throw. This using an 11-pound med ball. I'd recommend doing 8 pounds. My gym just doesn't have one that low, and I've built up to being able to do it with 11 pounds, but I would definitely start lower on this and work your way up, not going too heavy. And then I finished off with a little bit of ab work, so I did 3 sets of 10 with the med ball wall pass. If you have a partner, this is a great partner exercise. And then I finished off the workout with some isolated bicep and forearm work with the 3 sets of 8 on the Zottoman curl. The Zottoman curl is one of my favorite isolated bicep exercises because it also does hit the forearm and helps with grip. Friday's going to be my lower body plyometric day. So I start with my warm-up, which is about 10 minutes on the bike on a moderate course, and then I go into some stretching for about 5 minutes till I'm feeling good. My first exercise is going to be 3 sets of 5 for the cable walkout. So I do these instead of sled pushes since I don't have a sled. So I walk out, controlled, walk back to the start, controlled, and I do that 5 times, and that counts as 1 set. So I do 3 of those, and then I do 3 sets of 5. Same thing, but I'm doing it with a back pedal. So again, I have it pretty heavy, so that's why I'm not trying to run and go super fast. And then I go into some med ball skater jumps. So I'm holding a 6-pound ball, and I do 3 sets of 6 for each leg, trying to land nice and controlled and get a little bit of height on it as well. And then I go into 3 sets of 6 for each side for med ball broad jumps. So I actually start facing one way, and when I do the broad jump, I jump and I do a slight 90 degrees of a jump. It's not just a strict broad jump. And then I go into my supersets. So my contrast training, starting with 3 sets of 6. So I start with weighted depth drops from, I think this is an 18-inch thing, and nice and controlled on the drop. And then I go into a depth drop to a box jump. So building on the weighted depth drop, now I'm doing unweighted depth drop to box jump. Then I finish out the day with another contrast training superset. I do 3 sets of 8 with the push press. I believe I'm using 30-pound dumbbells here. And nice and controlled with the slight quarter squat into the push press. And then for my contrast, my body weight exercise, I'm doing 3 pogo jumps to a vertical jump. So 3, 1, 2, 3 into the vertical jump. And when I go into the vertical jump, I'm really using my arms to help swing me and propel me up higher. So Friday night, I also had dodgeball, a league. So it's a foam advanced competitive league. Actually, all 8 of the USA girls are playing on the same team, which is great. And it's a co-ed league, technically. They're doing us a favor by letting us be an all-women's team. So it is also giving us all co-ed practice because there is going to be women's and co-ed this year at Worlds. So I am basically playing dodgeball twice a week in preparation. I don't like to overdo it. I'm throwing 3 times a week and playing twice. But this week I didn't play Friday night because I had a wedding this weekend. But typically Saturday and Sundays are my active rest days. So I try not to be a complete couch potato, but I don't plan workouts for those days. I don't recommend that for everybody. I personally just like to shove everything Monday through Friday, but it is better to spread out your rest days. So a Tuesday and Saturday or a Wednesday and Sunday, spread them out throughout the week. However, that's just not what I do. So that is pretty much it in terms of my week of workouts for this week, which was 2 months out from Worlds. I will have the entire workout listed out in the description, so it's easy to follow if you don't want to have to skip through the video and try and find everything. So I do want to film another one of these, maybe a month or 2 weeks out from Worlds, because my workouts will look different as it gets closer to the tournament, because the whole point is to peak or be at my best at the tournament. So keep an eye out for that. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment with any other dodgeball topics you'd like me to cover, and I'll see you guys next week.